Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's Elise, and today I am bringing y'all along with me to invest some extra money that I found. I was able to find $30 in my budget after I paid all my bills and took care of my responsibilities. And I was like, "Ooh, I have some money. Let me invest it." So I'm already logged into Vanguard, no, to Robinhood, and I have here posted what I actually invested in. I invested in them today, $30. I already did it, so I can't do it real time, but the reason why I invested in this one is number one, it's in my budget, and number two, which is $63. And y'all know that my budget is $100 or less. And sometimes I can be convinced between $100 and $150 if I already own it and I want to increase my position. But I picked Vanguard Total International stock because it is indeed international. And although I do not know a lot about brokerage account investing yet, I'm still technically inside that learning curve. I do know from personal finance that it is important not to have all your eggs in one basket. And the original seven stock that I had, they were all American. So I was like, oh, Elise, I mean, I'm excited for you, girl, but you need to divest this a little bit. So I was like, okay. Once I found one from a reputable name and it was in my budget, I got on it starting today. Now, any extra money, and so let me show you here that now it is in my stock list right here. So any extra money I have, I'm going to use between now and the next year, I'm going to use it to build up my position because I only have half a share. And you'll see here, everything else is like two and a half, three, like 3 to 3.5 shares. So I'm trying to build it up to get it comparable. The only outlier is SEHC, but it's only because it was split 3 to 1. Before it was 3 to 3.5. And I do realize that when I first came to you, I was like, I'm not going to have that many. I'm only going to start out with 7, 6 or so. I realize now that that is probably not going to stay that way because I'm honestly learning so much about interesting stock that I'm like, oh yeah, that number originally is not going to stay the same. And that's when, let me go down here where I actually started a prayer list of all the stocks that I'm looking at that more than likely I want to invest in soon. Once I find out about them, I put them in here so that I can remember to go back and research them because they're interesting to me and they're in my budget. For updating purposes, let's talk about like my balance. So I started out with 1507 invested. I just invested $30 today. And I have buying power 4.7, which is my dividend so far. So in these last 30 days, I have dividends more or less of $5. And then the account has appreciated about $25. And I'm so excited that in a month in this economy, I made money, even though it's not a lot, but $25 is like a quarter of a bill. And then hopefully there will be months where it'll go up $100, $200. I'm not unhappy with my humble beginnings. I'm very happy with my humble beginnings because it could be the other way around where I lost money because there are definitely months this year where I lost money in this economy. So whatever, I'm happy. Let's go to some stocks that I'm looking at. So I bought the VXIS, but the other ones that I really wanted to buy, but I didn't because I'm being responsible is the first one is QDTE. I found out about this one. It's called Roundhill Innovation Dash 100, blah, blah, blah. It is in my budget at $42. And what caught my eye about this one is that it gives weekly dividends. And I was like, oh, weekly dividends. In addition to weekly dividends, it also gives quarterly dividends. So I'm like, yep, I'm putting that on my prayer list. I did not buy it though, because of the three that I am most interested in, the international one, let me go back, was more expensive. Therefore, it's going to be harder in my position. And I know whenever something's hard or easy, I better pick the hard thing because the hard thing's better for me. So I'm focusing on building that position between now and the end of the year. And then the other one that I'm looking at is Main, short for Main Street, because it's in my budget as well. Main Street Capital is $52 at the moment. And what I like about this one is that it gives out monthly dividends. So I will be returning to this as soon as possible. And there's still room for it to grow and it's still within my budget. So that's where I'm at right now for newbies that I'm probably going to buy. There are a couple where they're newbies and I put on here just to discuss, but I'm probably not. The first one being Visa. I was thinking about it because they've been in trouble with the government. And whenever some company is in trouble with the government, there's room for improvement, but there's also, that means to me, there's also room to make money. And they went down like last month about between 5 and 10%. So let's see. This big dip here. It was 269, but before that, it was like 288. So I was like, oh, there's an opportunity. And I put it on my prayer list to watch it. Now, since watching it, it's actually gone up a little bit from 269 to 285. So it's not far from its original 288. But I put it there as something to look at because you never know. Mind you, it was always too rich for my blood at 285, but I still like looking and opining about certain things because it's going to help me learn. And then the last one is Save, which is the ticker for Spirit Airlines. So Spirit Airlines had a dip recently that was like amazing. Their big dip was $1.50. Mind you, wasn't that much before, but let's say it was like $2. Well, let's see. It's already up at 225. The highest it's ever been this 3 month thing was $3. So go from $3 to 150. I was like, this is an opportunity to buy really low for when it goes back up. Now they're going through issues where, I mean, honestly, Spirit Airlines is probably the most horrible airline that we have. Every time I've flown, 9 out of 10 times I've flown, I always leave upset. So I know why they're doing bad, because they're a bad company. They are cheap, and they are paying for it by being cheap. They're going through things. I think they were trying to sell their airline to another value airline that didn't work out. But I was like, can I invest in something that I hate? As more or less I try to be in capitalism, sometimes that goes out the window. But I was like, I don't want to be that person. I want to fight against just, you know, the opportunity at all costs, despite like how horribly I feel about the company. So I came to the resolution. Honestly, it's a compromise where I am going to invest in them, possibly, but it's going to be no more than $100, because okay, right now it's at two. Today it's at like 211 or whatever. Even if it goes up to $20, however long that takes, if once it goes up to $20, I would have made $1,000 return, and that's enough for me. I'm not trying to get a lot of money out of them because I don't care for how they do business, but I am keeping it over here on my prayer list just in case I find an extra $100, which is not super impossible to do. And I'm just gonna like leave it alone. I put a limit on myself because, yeah, I'm not a big fan of the company. But that's where I am right now, guys. Let me know what you guys think about the stocks that I am watching. And also let me know if there are stocks that you think that I should watch that are within my budget of $100. And I'm looking forward to like getting your opinions and getting your insight so that I can become better at this. I will see y'all next week, and thank you guys so much for watching.